Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because today we're diving into something really special. There's a saying in the automotive world, they don't make them like they used to. And honestly, when it comes to luxury cars, that couldn't be more true. Today's luxury vehicles are packed with technology, but they're often designed to last maybe 10 years before they become money pits. But the cars we're talking about today, these are the legends, the tanks, the vehicles that were engineered with one philosophy in mind: build it right, build it once, and build it to last a lifetime. So today, I'm counting down 7 old luxury cars that were genuinely built to last forever. And hey, if you've owned any of these beauties, or if your grandfather still has one sitting in the garage, drop a comment below and let me know. I want to hear your stories. Alright, let's get into it. Starting off our list at number 7 is the Mercedes-Benz W123. And if you know anything about bulletproof German engineering, you knew a Mercedes was going to be on this list. The W123 was produced from 1976 to 1985, and this thing was an absolute workhorse. We're talking about a car that taxi drivers around the world put literally millions of miles on. And I'm not exaggerating. There are documented cases of W123 diesels with over 900,000 miles still running strong. What made it so indestructible? Well, Mercedes didn't cut corners. The body was built with heavy-gauge steel that resisted rust better than most cars of its era. The suspension was overbuilt. And that legendary OM617 diesel engine, it's one of the most reliable engines ever made. 5 cylinders of pure, unstoppable torque. Sure, it wasn't fast. The diesel models were actually pretty slow, but speed wasn't the point. This was a car designed to start every single morning, drive 300,000 miles without major issues, and then keep going for another 300,000. Today, clean examples of the W123 are actually appreciating in value. Collectors recognize what we all knew back then. This was peak Mercedes-Benz, before the bean counters took over. Comment below with a 1 if you or someone you know has owned a W123. Coming in at number 6 is a car that literally changed the luxury car game forever. The first generation Lexus LS400. When Toyota launched Lexus in 1989, they had one mission: build a luxury car that was better than a Mercedes. Not just as good, better. And honestly, they succeeded. The LS400 was obsessively engineered. Toyota took apart Mercedes S-classes and BMWs piece by piece, studied every component, and then made their version better. The result was a car so smooth, so quiet, and so reliable that it embarrassed the German competition. There are LS400s out there with 500,000, 600,000, even over 1 million miles still running on their original engines and transmissions. The 1UZ-FEV8 engine is legendary for its reliability. We're talking about an engine that can go 300,000 miles without needing major work if you just do basic maintenance. And the interior, still comfortable, still quiet. The build quality was so good that 30-year-old LS400s still feel solid and refined. Here's the crazy part. You can pick up a clean first-gen LS400 for under $10,000. That's an incredible bargain for one of the most reliable luxury cars ever made. Drop a 2 in the comments if you think the LS400 is the most underrated luxury car of all time. At number 5, we have the car that became synonymous with safety and longevity, the Volvo 240. Now, some people might debate whether the 240 is truly a luxury car, but hear me out. In its day, Volvo positioned this as a premium vehicle. It had upscale materials, excellent build quality, and it cost serious money when new. But what really earns the 240 a spot on this list is its legendary durability. These things simply refuse to die. The boxy design wasn't just about looks, it was about function. Simple, robust construction with parts that were designed to be repaired, not replaced. The engines, particularly the B230F 4-cylinder, could easily run for 300,000 to 500,000 miles. And because Volvo kept the same basic design for nearly 20 years, parts are plentiful and affordable. There's actually a Volvo 240 owned by a man in Long Island that crossed 3 million miles. 3 million. The car received a new engine and transmission over its life, but the fact that someone could drive the same car for that many miles speaks volumes. The 240 also pioneered safety features that we now take for granted. 3-point seatbelts in every position, crumple zones, reinforced passenger cages. Volvo literally gave away patents to other manufacturers because they cared more about saving lives than profits. If you grew up riding in a Volvo 240, Or if you learn to drive in one, give me a 3 in the comments. Number 4 might be controversial because BMW reliability can be hit or miss, but the E38 7 Series deserves recognition as one of the last truly over-engineered BMWs. This was the flagship BMW built during an era when the company still prioritized ultimate driving machines over profit margins. The E38 was launched in 1994, and it showcased everything BMW could do at the peak of their engineering prowess. The M62 V8 engine, especially in the 740i, was robust and powerful, but the real star was the straight 6 in the 735i and the V12 in the 750iL. That M73 V12 was smooth, powerful, and surprisingly reliable for a 12-cylinder engine. What really set the E38 apart was the build quality. The doors closed with a bank-vault thunk. The interior materials were genuine wood, real leather, and quality plastics that didn't crack or fade. The double-pane glass made the cabin whisper quiet. Now, I'll be honest, the E38 requires maintenance. The cooling systems need attention, and some electronic modules can fail. But if you actually take care of these cars, they'll run for 300,000 miles without breaking a sweat. The reason the E38 makes this list is that it represents the last generation before BMW started using more plastic components and cost-cutting measures. This was peak BMW, when they built cars to a standard, not to a price. Values are starting to climb on clean E38s, especially the V12 models. People are recognizing that this was the last of a breed. Comment 4 if you think the E38 is the best-looking 7 Series ever made. Coming in at number 3 is arguably the greatest S-Class ever made, the W126. If the W123 was the workhorse, the W126 was the king. This was Mercedes-Benz at the absolute peak of their overbuilt everything philosophy. The W126 was in production from 1979 to 1991, and it set the standard for what a luxury car should be. The engineering was absurd. The body was galvanized steel that resisted rust better than anything else on the road. The suspension was overbuilt and used components that were designed to last the lifetime of the vehicle. The engines, whether you got the inline-6, V8, or even the diesel, were built to run 500,000 miles. But it wasn't just about durability. This was also the most advanced car of its time. The W126 introduced airbags, traction control, and seatbelt pretensioners. It had available rear seatbelts and a driver-side airbag starting in 1981. The interior was a masterclass in understated luxury. No flashy screens or gimmicks, just beautifully crafted switches, perfect ergonomics, and materials that aged gracefully. Even today, a well-maintained W126 feels special to drive. The steering is precise, the ride is smooth, and everything still works the way it should. There's a reason you still see W126 S-Classes on the road today, 40-plus years after they were built. Mercedes engineered these to last multiple lifetimes, and that's exactly what they're doing. Drop a 5 in the comments if you think Mercedes should go back to building cars like the W126. At number 2, we have proper British luxury, the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow. Now, when you think of cars built to last forever, Rolls-Royce might not be the first brand that comes to mind. These cars have a reputation for being expensive to maintain, and that's partly true. But what people don't realize is that a well-maintained Silver Shadow will outlast almost anything on the road. The Silver Shadow was revolutionary when it launched in 1965. It was the first Rolls-Royce with unibody construction and independent suspension all around. But more importantly, it was built with an obsessive attention to detail and quality. The 6.75-liter V8 engine is legendary. It's understated, it's smooth, and it's nearly indestructible. Rolls-Royce never even published horsepower figures. They just said the power was adequate. And trust me, it was. These cars were hand-assembled with the finest materials available. The leather was top grain, the wood was real walnut or mahogany, and every component was tested to destruction before it was approved. Yes, parts are expensive. Yes, you need a specialist to work on them. But if you maintain a Silver Shadow properly, it will run for 300,000, 400,000 miles without major issues. The beauty of the Silver Shadow is that it was designed to be repairable. Unlike modern luxury cars that are essentially disposable after 10 years, a Rolls-Royce was meant to be passed down through generations, and many of them have been. Comment 6 if you dream of owning a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow one day. And finally, at number 1, we have the ultimate unkillable luxury vehicle, the Toyota Land Cruiser, specifically the FJ60 and FJ80 generations. Now, you might be thinking, wait, is the Land Cruiser really a luxury car? And the answer is absolutely yes. These trucks cost more than a Mercedes S-Class when they were new, and they were packed with premium features, leather, wood trim, and every comfort available. But what makes the Land Cruiser truly special is that it combines luxury with legendary Toyota reliability and off-road capability. This is a vehicle that can drive across the Sahara Desert, then pick up the kids from private school, and do both for 500,000 miles. The inline-six engines in these Land Cruisers, particularly the one FZFE, are some of the most reliable engines ever built. There are Land Cruisers in Africa, Australia, and the Middle East with over 1 million miles still running strong. The build quality is absurd. Everything is over-engineered. The frame is thick steel, the suspension components are massive, and the interior materials are designed to withstand decades of use. And here's the thing, Land Cruisers don't depreciate like normal cars. Clean examples of FJ60s and FJ80s are actually increasing in value because people recognize that you simply cannot buy this kind of durability anymore. The Land Cruiser is the ultimate expression of buy it for life. It's a vehicle that your grandchildren could inherit and still drive daily. If the Land Cruiser is your dream vehicle, drop a 7 in the comments right now. So there you have it, 7 old luxury cars that were genuinely built to last forever. These aren't just cars, they're testaments to an era when manufacturers actually cared about longevity and quality over quarterly profits. And here's my question for you. Which of these 7 cars would you want to own? Drop a number from 1 to 7 in the comments and let me know. I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss future videos. I've got some exciting content coming up, including a deep dive into modern cars that might actually last as long as these classics. Spoiler alert, there aren't many. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.